So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's obvious that you know about Google, right? But you don't know Google can be taken in use in much more things that is searching. If you have ever watched videos on Google hacking or Google database, you would be knowing about advanced operators. But in this video, actually, we are very eager to know more than advanced operator searching and specific searching. Actually, if you have watched previous videos from anyone, they would have you told you about search operators like in URL, in title to search for anything you are looking for, right? But today in this video we are going to talk about anonymizing a Google. Now you will understand it much better when we will be talking about that with all displayed results. Okay, other than that, we will be also looking at crawling data, searching for ports, and also doing port scanning with the help of the Google search tab. There are much more to be talked on this topic, but that will be taken to the next video, which will be the next part for this video. Until then, understand everything that have been talked in this video. So starting off here, we have the first thing that we have to talk about is advanced operator. You would have heard about it a lot of time from short videos, or even if you have watched YouTube videos for Google hacking or Google database hacking, you would be have known about this. Now this is a thing which is provided by Google for refined search, or you can say standard search. Okay, in this what we do, we use a kind of advanced keywords or operators with the help of which we can find a good amount of or good adequate specific data that we are searching for. With the help of this, what we can basically do is we can refine the data and we can go for a specific one. Like in some situations or in some conditions, website doesn't want to provide some part of the website, so it hides it. But with the help of advanced operators, we can do it all easily. Okay, so that what is advanced operator used for in our part of hacking or footprinting. Okay, so just looking at a basic one, we can use in title Firefox. Now what this does is it will provide every website with the title Firefox. So that's how it works, but it's a very basic one. You can actually use more than one advanced operators in the same search tab, with the help of which you can go and find adequate password lists and email lists. But that's not what I'm going to show in this video actually, because there are enormous videos available throughout the YouTube that can help in that. We are going to do something more advanced than that. So on the screen you can see these are some of the advanced operators that you can try using it. Pause your screen, take a screenshot and use it in your practice. And one more thing, don't do this without the consent or the permission of the individual, company or any institution. I'm not responsible for anything if you do after learning from this video. Okay, so moving to the next part, we have one more thing to understand, that is URL. Okay, so for that we have to do is let me first open a link. Okay, now just focus on this part, the link. Okay, here you can see the part from https to .com is the site. The site can also be referred to as the domain that is providing you the data. Okay, so we are getting all of this data from Google, so that's what it's displayed here. Then we got the in URL. Now what's in URL? In URL displays from W to in title, which actually tells us the domain and what we are searching for and what are the results displayed with the help of that domain. So according to that, we are searching, or we are getting the results from Google and we are searching for Firefox. So that's how it works. And at the end part, okay, if we just jump to the end part of the link, here we get the file type. Since we have not opened any website yet, so it doesn't display anything much better. Okay, if we are opening a PHP site, then it will be displayed as index.php. If we are into any JS, then it will display .js. So that's how it's displayed. Okay, now why I'm telling this, This is because this part, actually the link part, displays a lots of information about the website you are trying to sniff or search data for. Okay. Now this was the thing that was just basically needed to understood. Now we are going to look at something very interesting which is called Google hacking basics. Now there are two techniques that we are going to talk about in this. The first one is anonymous Googling. Now anonymous Googling is you can say a way in which we present ourselves as Google in searching Google. This happens with the help of cache files. Now the question is how we do it. Okay, so for doing that we will do is use a key term or keyword that is and strip. Actually if you search and strip on Google, the and strip is written like this. Okay, if you search Google for ant strip, you will get various results. Okay, if you see it in a programming language, it has different purposes, but looking it on Google, it has a purpose that it displays a website excluding the bid. Okay, which means it doesn't display as usual. It's very tough actually to find the difference as per the results are displayed, but it actually happens. Okay, so we are going to do and strip on this site. Now before we start with doing it, let me first tell you what it actually does. So when we say we are adding and strip to the end of this URL, what it basically does is we are touching the Google but not the website. Okay, if I say I open this link, okay, and I do and strip at the end of this, that means I am presenting myself to the Google, which means Google knows that I am touching this site, but this site doesn't comes to know that I am touching it. That's because and strip is a way in which we just present ourselves to be accessing Google and not accessing the site. So I say before I'm putting and strip, the website knows that I am looking at its content, right? But as soon as I do and strip is equal to 1 at the end of the site, now it doesn't knows actually. Okay, so yeah, it may happen that sometimes it not be found just because at the end there is an HTML. Okay, and I didn't notice that actually. So we will try on this link. We will do and strip is equal to 1 at the end of this. Now listen properly and understand that we are touching this part of the site and it knows that we are touching it. But as soon as we do and strip, we are actually making Google do it for us. We are going to Google and asking that you look for the data and give it to me without telling them that we are looking for it. And as soon as we do it, we get the same results but with the different rules, which means now we are secure as because the website owner doesn't knows that we are looking at its content right here. So that's how ad strip works and anonymization works. Hopefully you understood it, and if not, just rewind a little bit and try understanding it. It's a little complicated to understand, but it's very awesome and great thing if you understand it. So now you understand what anonymous Google is basically. Okay, now the next thing we are going to talk about is special character. Now when I say special character, I talk about these. What are these? These are actually used for special search in case we want to search for specific targets, or we are looking for specific words, then we are going to use this. Now you can try using this on your own. It's not very tough to understand. Making one more point clear is in here is that there are enormous number of tools that are available now for automations. With the help of these special characters, you can also look for a bunch of emails, passwords, and you can also look at these queries that are being displayed on the screen and also look at the description that will help you understand what are these used for and how to take the use. Take the screenshots of this and start making your practice. Now Google can also be used for network mapping. Now Google is indispensable tool that is used for mapping out and also helping in looking for internet connections, right? So what we can basically do is we can do basic site crawlings using the keyword site with anything, like if we do site dot microsoft, okay, dot com, and the thing we have to change here is remove the space and use double dots and enter. Now what this will do is it will actually display all of the results that include Microsoft in its URL. It doesn't matter what it is, but it will actually help us to find every site that is using the domain for Microsoft, which is it will help us to find the connections. Like we can crawl for a site or the part of the website which can be vulnerable to any vulnerabilities. Like not any website is maintaining the subsite at a very high security levels. In some situations, some of these subsites got vulnerabilities that can be taken in use to get into the servers of the company or the system. So that's what actually is the use for this. Okay, now this site crawling actually helps in that much cases only, right? But there are more ways that you can do it to understand it. Like if you do a site for office.microsoft.com or admin.microsoft.com, then there are chances that you can enter some of the part of the website which you were not allowed to be, or company doesn't want anyone to enter who is not working for the company. Now there is an repository created called Linux, Lynx, that can be used for automation of this kind of site crawling. And also there are more repositories created in Python that you can search on GitHub or wherever you feel comfortable with to do these processes. But the main thing to understand here is how it works. Until you know how it works, there is no use of learning it. Okay, and there is a thing you need to understand, that host and domain isn't new. Okay, uh, we are doing this without sending any packets to the target, which means if we are crawling and searching for data like these using keywords, we are not telling the target that we are looking for them. So there are several benefits, like low profile, you are not visible to the target as you are searching for their sites. Everyone is doing it actually right now. Many are outside doing the same thing that you are doing, but you are doing it in a special way. And there are some downsides, like in some cases it may be faster and easier to as a good guide to use traditional techniques and tools that connect to the target. But remember, bad guys can still find and target you via Google, which means you can easily be targeted, doesn't matter if you are on any social media or not. Okay, now talking about the advanced site crawling, automation is on its level. Okay, so we are not going to talk about that much more. And before we end to the advanced operator, the one more thing we are going to talk about is link. Now the link operator, which says link, okay, is one more thing that you can use. Now this link operator is a more helpful one, with the help of which you can get to the social medias or all of the place where Microsoft is having its link, like it's in LinkedIn or Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, every other page that Microsoft is linked to, so that in case you can easily find that where are Microsoft available other than its own sites. At the end of this operator thing, I would like to tell you that There are enormous ways to understand how things work with Google. All you need to do is use it on your own by mixing each and every one with each other. Okay, so that's how you will be able to understand how to take the advanced use of this. So ending with the operators, now we have to start with port scanning. Now if I say port scanning, it seems little confusing, like how a tab can be used for scanning ports. So we can do it, but it's a little bit messy and complicated if we talk about automation. Okay, so for that we will do in URL and we will enter any port. For now we will take this one and we'll say enter. Now here it displays that webmain port 10,000 not working, which means this port is not active. You can use any site name at this place and find for any port if they are open or not. So for changing that, now we are using 8080. Now what this does, it actually does is it will show you the websites which is running the port 8080 on its site. So all these sites are on port number 8080. Now since you are able to find ports and since it's easy to find the IP, it can take you to an enormous use. So this is how port scanning works when you are on the search tab. Now also you can use third-party scanners like network query scanners. Now these can help you to just search for scan for IP and ports with the help of the websites they provide. Okay, so here we are done with the port scanning. Then we are getting to a part of document grinding and database digging. Actually, in this part we are looking for database and documents that contain a wealth of information. Okay, so with the help of SQL database we will be able to dump all the kind of stuffs that actually should not be available to everyone. So I'll just tell you one or two ways that are taken in use to do this kind of searching. So for that we type in intitle, okay, passwords, and then leaving a space I'll say um, file type as SQL. Okay, and now you can see that we are able to see some of the things that are not very common and simple. So here we get a lots of thing that is not very understandable if you are not very specific with your target. So you can use this and find a very specific target and search for anything. File type is the type of file that you are searching for, and in title is something you are looking for. You can replace this with email, and you can replace file type with text, and there you go. You can find much more things from different pages and different domains that will help you get into different dumps of passwords or emails actually you are looking for. Now before we end up, let's see at an advanced search that you must know so that you can understand how it goes. So we are using file type mdb and we are using in URL for account, users, admin and administrators, password and passwords, so that we can get all of the results included in this. So here we can see some results that are displayed with the IP addresses, and obviously this is not of our stuffs, but searching deep down, going to the 8 or available at the end of the pages, we will be able to see some of actually the pages that will get us useful data. Now if we do this on videos, we won't be able to end up anywhere. Okay, so removing it and leaving it right there. The next part I'm going to say is automation. Now automation is a very advanced thing going on right now in this world. So what you can do, you can just start automating your task. Now this video is going to be have a second part which we will be talking about creating automation for page scraping with Perl and CGI scanning, web server login portals, network hardwares, antivirus, SMTP gateways, and much more things in that second part of the video. Till then, try practicing all of the stuffs that we talked about today, and hopefully you would have learned something from this video. If you did, give a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to watch more videos like this.